welcome to the UK Packers podcast. As usual, I'm your host at Steedy the NFL on Twitter, and of course follow the group at UK Packers. And as usual, I'm joined by me old buddy, me old pal. It's at Ryan Peacock NFL. What's going on, buddy?
I'll tell you what's going on. The NFL 2018 season, there's a tie every week. Who's it going to be this week? Hopefully not the Packers again. Hopefully we get a win.
That is the question. But we're talking Redskins, and actually what I have to do is I have to keep bearing in mind is that we have a video in front of us. So that I haven't been addressing that because I'm so used to I'm in podcast mode. So anyone who's listening to this, and we have thousands of listeners, for Jesus' sake, our YouTube channel is looking dismal, isn't it, Rhino? They need to get over there and start watching them.
We kind of need some subscribers, so please. We're not begging, but please go and subscribe to the channel.
Yeah. Stop.
But we should probably talk Packers because we've probably already only got 9 minutes left. This is a 10-minute takedown. And we, obviously, as the clues in the title, we only have 10 minutes to preview the next game between the Packers and the Washington Redskins.
Right, come on then. Let's talk some real business. Now, I've been reading some articles about what do the Packers need to do, yada yada. And one of them is that they need to put Aaron Rodgers under pressure, and if we have to take the pressure off, our O-line needs to be good, blah blah blah. However, not the case. Not the case at all. Aaron Rodgers on third down, according to Pro Football Focus, he's first on passer rating on third down. First off, so he's tip top. He's first on passer rating under pressure. He's first in passer rating on third down against the blitz. In fact, his passer rating goes up against the blitz than it does when he's just under pressure, and he's first in yards per dropback. He's also first overall under pressure, and is also first in touchdown to interception ratio. So I would invite, quite gladly, the Washington Redskins to bring on the pressure, baby, because that's what we need to get A-Rod, some fire under his arse and to be throwing some touchdowns. I don't know about you, Rhino.
Sure, I reckon as well he's in number one place for quarterbacks on one leg only. And but just to address that as well, see, last week when he needed to scramble and he needed to move outside the pocket, and he didn't do it often, but when he needed to do it, he was able to do it.
Yeah.
So I think whilst the media tried to bend this week, things that he said about the knee, he's obviously feeling pretty good at it. And yeah, he's not 100%, but he looks okay. And if he can do what he did against the Vikings defense, then I think he should be able to make good work of the Redskins.
Yeah, because the Redskins going into this game actually have the number one defense, which is pretty frightening. But what I will say is there's a caveat to all of that.
Look at who they've played.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and that is because we saw it for us about 2 or 3 years ago when everyone was going on about, the run stuff, and D is back with Johnny Jolly. And yes, although he was a great player and all of that was fantastic at the time, we see Mike Daniels, Kenny Clark, and again, they're still doing the business. It's who you play, and look who they have played. And they come up with a Colts team and got buzzsawed, but that was mostly because of their offense. So Alex Smith, although he's reliable, Ryan, and he had a fantastic year last year, actually a career year last year, and he was rewarded with getting turfed out to the Washington Redskins from the Chiefs. He's really struggled with accuracy issues, and that's why I think the key to this game is going to come down to the dinky-dunky stuff. And there's one person in particular that I want to highlight, and that's Chris Thompson. This guy, he's at least 4 inches smaller than me, let's say, at 5'8". And also he's a shifty guy, not very heavy, but he's a running back, but he led the league last year in receptions for running backs. So this is a guy, he's more of a hybrid kind of sort of, a Swiss Army knife of players, really. He's small, he's diminutive, he's shifty, he's fast. So he's going to be the key to this game because Alex Smith's going to keep going for that short pass. He's effectively like Ty Montgomery, but much smaller, and I would say just as dangerous.
Yeah, sure. I mean, he's already over 150 yards this season. I think it's 155 when I read it earlier. So he's particularly good. Yes, in terms of rushing yards, Adrian Peterson seems to be their number one option there. But you're right. When he's in the backfield, he is definitely a passing threat. Another passing threat that I think we've got to watch out for and we need to stop will be Jordan Reed, the tight end.
Yeah.
Another guy that's been a bit of a go-to guy for Alex Smith. We know Alex Smith start a game. Anyone that thinks, he hasn't got a deep ball, you just got to go back and watch his Chiefs career. It is there, but he does tend to like his targets around him. Obviously, he had Kelce at the Chiefs. He's now got Jordan Reed. And Jordan Reed will be a dangerous player we need to stop. You're particularly right. Yes, they've got the number one defense. Okay, we accept that. But when you look at who they've played so far, they beat the Cardinals, which largely so far they've looked pretty poor. And then they got wholly beaten by the Indianapolis Colts, which was a strange one for me because I actually had the Redskins down to win that, I think.
Yeah.
So that was an odd one for me because really the Colts, I don't want to sound too disrespectful, but apart from Andrew Luck, really they're kind of still building what they're doing there. I don't think they're a team that's ready to go to the playoffs. So the fact they lost to them was kind of a bit of an alarm bell, if you like. So I think the Packers have definitely got what it takes this week to overcome the Redskins. But one thing I wanted to ask you, obviously Aaron Jones rejoins the roster this week. Do you think they're going to throw him right back in there? Do you think he suddenly puts more importance on our run game, or does Jamal Williams sort of hold his place?
I think Jamal Williams holds his place, and I think we saw the run yardage, the yards per carry that we saw Ty Montgomery crack off. I think you go with the hot hand. It's kind of like the running back version of, not to the sort of glittering degree of what's happening in Tampa Bay with Fitzmagic, you know what I mean? Do you go with the hot hand, or do you go with someone who's kind of seen as sort of a stalwart? Because it's interesting, I was looking at articles actually that were written on our website, ukpackers.co.uk, and it was talking about Aaron Jones. I was listening to some of our old podcasts for whatever reason, and we were talking about the emergence of Aaron Jones and how important he was for this offense and how good he looked before that hamstring injury and of course the suspension. So I don't know, I think that they bring him in to try get him some rep time. But certainly on the other side of the ball is what I want to ask you, Rhino. Adrian Peterson, was that first game just a freakish game against a really crappy Cardinals team, or is this an old foe that's going to come back and haunt us a little bit in this game?
My guess is just because of the history, almost the script's written, that Adrian Peterson will be a force in this game. You can never write him off. He's too good of a running back to write him off. Yes, he's getting older. Yes, he may have slowed down half a yard, but he's a really good running back. Obviously, we know he's never really been the receiver out of the backfield, but they've got Thompson to do that. They don't need him to do that. I would still expect him to have a nice game. Hopefully, we can stuff him. Hopefully, we can stop him doing what he used to do. He isn't the player he was, but certainly do not write him off.
Yeah. So the keys to this game, then, do you think that the Packers defense come heavy with this game? Do you think we nullify the Redskins defense with their offensive line and their offensive weapons? Because, and the reason I ask it, like, for instance, I'm going to put my soul on the line here, right, and just say that I think that we notch up an absolutely ridiculous score in this game, and that's solely because we came up against a strong Vikings team, against Kirk Cousins, who I felt was fantastic. I think we've got two studs in Josh Jackson and Jair Alexander. They had a quarterback passer rating in college of in the 50s and lower. PFF have graded them to do something similar this time around. So I think we shut Alex Smith down. We stuff the run. I think we stop that sort of little dinky-dunky stuff. We learn from our mistakes last week and don't give up those big plays. And then I think offensively we run right. Like you said, it's Aaron Rodgers on one leg and he's leading the league. So it's just bonkers. Would you subscribe to a big lead, a big win?
I would like to think so. I also think that this week... I certainly respect the Redskins offense. I think they're going to be good. I still think they're going to score at some point. But I like to think that I've seen enough good things from the Packers defense this far that I think at some point it's going to come together. Could that be this week? We certainly hope so. That maybe I haven't seen the latest news on it, but maybe Oren Brooks can come back. I'm not sure if that's going to be too soon for him. Or how much time he would see if he did get back. Kevin King, I think, was possibly looking unlikely. But that may have changed. But I think generally the Packers' defenses look pretty good. I know there were mistakes, so I know there's going to be a lot of people shouting this, that, the other. But generally, I think the Packers' defense is coming together, and I think you could see a big day from the defense, actually, just as much as the offense.
So we have about 50 seconds left. So one more matchup to talk about, and that's Josh Norman and Davante Adams. Davante Adams allowed a quarterback rating. I don't know if you can sort of phrase it like that, but when you target him of 120.3 or thereabouts, Josh Norman, again, is the signature player on that defense. Do you think that that's going to be a good battle? Do you think it's going to be one-sided? Is Josh Norman overrated?
Josh Norman isn't overrated, but Davante Adams, I would say, is underrated. I think he's one of the best receivers in the league right now, and he's certainly got the best quarterback in the game throwing the ball to him. So Josh Norman, he can line up on him all day long. Davante Adams is still going to score.
Right, so we have about 10 seconds. So Lions, Patriots, Bears, Cardinals, how are you going to call it?
Patriots beat the Lions because they seem woeful at the moment. Bears, Cardinals, I'm going to go Bears. I think they look really nice at the moment. And then I think, what's the other one? Minnesota versus the Bills. I think.
Yeah, which we all know the way that's going to pan out, don't we?
I think that one's pretty obvious. Yeah, that's going to be the Vikings. Yeah, NFC North shaping up to be a good division.
Yeah, very strong. So that's all for this 10-minute takedown. So if you like the video, make sure you hit subscribe and follow the YouTube channel and spread it around to your friends. And also, I've been at CDD NFL. Follow me on Twitter. Follow at Ryan Peacock NFL. Also the group at UK Packers. Get onto Instagram, and that's it for the 10-minute takedown. If you want to hear how it all panned out against the Redskins, make sure that you listen to the podcast, which is going to drop every Monday night, which is a post-review game. So yeah, that's it. Goodbye for now.
Bye-bye.